Yeah, it's amazing, and you know, 4 warriors are left standing. You know what, this isn't done and dusted. Kolohe and Dino surfed incredible yesterday afternoon. These kind of waves are kind of suiting his style of surfing, so John's got his hands full.
We're about to find out if this will in fact be one of the biggest mornings of John Florence's career as we think about the matchups with these two. Kolohe and Dino on fire this season. His personal best year to date, his best result in the making here in Portugal. And John Florence could be controlling his own destiny. Now let's get prepared for the call as we send it to the booth with Gig Selliers and Ross Williams.
A little smaller, we will see the occasional big air today, so that's in play.
All right, so activation early on. Yeah, Kolohe and Dino will fight for that inside position against his opponent, world number 1, John Florence.
Ooh,
and he'll go down in the effort. And, well, it's a little tie-up to get going here, Ross. So let's have a close look at this.
Yeah, so John was committing to a straight line, and Kolohe kind of repositioned himself and paddled around John, so maybe more of the aggressor. So if there is a paddling interference, I don't know if they'll take a closer look at Kolohe. Again, John just kind of committing straight, and Kolohe going around him. So that was pretty smart for Kolohe because he got the inside track for that right-hander. But very touch and go, and what kind of decision the judges can make there.
Well, precarious moment here as we get semi-final 1 underway. And you see Kolohe ditching out.
What a freakish way to start the heat.
So just a small score for Kolohe and Dino. No interference is called. And looking at conditions on hand here, very peaky, Ross. Lots of opportunities to go left and right. And John will lead it straight through the barrel section here. And he'll float and he'll disconnect. So quick effort on the left-hander from John. Kolohe looking for that update. John and Kolohe and Dino.
Amazing technique for John, just wrangling that late drop, but a very short barrel again, so that's going to keep that score low. But you can see the talent from John. How comfortable is he taking off under the hood? And, a lot of times we use those terms, get under it, knife the drop, and really all that means is just getting right under the wave as it's breaking. You don't have a lot of time to react out here.
To the World Surf League rule book, and let's have a look here as Kolohe and Dino. Wall stretches out, board speed is up. To the air he goes, and that was a huge twist at the apex of it. He'll disconnect on the landing. So an opportunity spills away for Kolohe and Dino. Final 4 we are down to here in Portugal.
And you can see Kolohe's face right there, the intent. He is looking for a ramp. But this is what's sketchy about this area. He got a lot of projection up and over the wave. You can see how high he was, but the landing was sketchy. He was in the flats. He didn't have that cushion of the whitewash to kind of cushion the blow and make the landing easy. That's what's tough about airs today. If you're going to go out into the flats, it's really hard to handle that compact, that impact, I should say.
That 10-point ride. And now we'll pick up John Florence as he goes into the wind. Behind the curtain, a deep tube thread here. We watch it very closely. And we hold our breath. And John will go down. So, wow. Both surfers not unlocking any scores at this stage. Semi-final number 1 wide open for the taking. Well, both of these surfers semi-finaled in France at the previous stop, and this is a big section for Kolohe as he rail drives through. And again, we hold our breath, and you see him just cork pop up the top of that tube, incomplete again.
And it looks like a nice little nugget here for John.
John will find an opportunity. This one's going to stay open, and it puffs John out. So single tube there. He doesn't go for the end section. Smart move as he quickly exits. And he'll move stealthily back through the lineup to establish that priority again.
Navigate through this barrel, but watch all the noise inside the barrel. He had that long section, so right there, just a little too long for him. He did a great job driving into that barrel, but because that wave extended in front of him, the floor dropped out from underneath his feet. This, the exact opposite. That was such a cruisy barrel for John. Basically, all he had to do was stand up and then just enjoy the barrel. Watch, he's going to just dig his hand in for a second, but, the job is done. At that point, he's just coming out. There's the spit. So a solid barrel. I don't think it's going to be a massive score, but definitely a fun little ride for John. And he's starting to build now.
That completed tube ride of John Florence to show us what kind of numbers are available for amount of time in the barrel. And Kolohe there almost finds the exit and then pulls through the back. You're watching semi-final number 1 here in Portugal. And John Florence is going to look over the ledge of this one. Here he goes. He'll trim it. Couple of sections to this barrel. He'll find his way through. And now a little section trying to capitalize and go to the air. He doesn't find it on that corner, Ross. So John Florence, though, staying busy. Wave number 4 now from him.
To get too excited because it wasn't a very committed effort. It was more him just trying to squeeze water out of a rock right there. But he did a great job. He refused to fall. But in general, kind of a frustrating ride. I don't see it really going much more over a 4.
Currently out in the water, it takes Gabriel Medina out of the world title race. We're picking up here on Kolohe Andino, who is looking for something to really get moving in this heat. Whitewater rebound, wraps it on the face. See a little bit of a twist to the pocket of this opportunity, and there he does find the end section hit. So working a score into place here is Kolohe Andino.
It's a 4-point ride for this wave right here. So I like that, Kolohe picking up on the fact that, hey, the scores aren't easy to come by right now, so he's going to work. Obviously, he wants to get barreled. He wants to do a big error, but this wave not allowing that. So he did well. He had a nice climb there to start with, a decent finishing move. I know it's just a 4, but look, it lowered that requirement all the way down to a 6.5.
Against Mick Fanning in J-Bay. We see John go to the top of the ladder. And now we pick up on the yellow jersey as it flies through the curtain here. And yes, he'll find the doggy door, we call it in the sport. Little section at the bottom there, so he threaded a great distance there and mysteriously found his way out.
Closes out, you're forced to kind of punch through the wall of the lip. So right here, this wave closes out, there's no exit, and somehow he just snuck through. He made that look so easy. And that's the beauty of John surfing. He's such a naturalist. Right here, so a big pump, he's getting tons of speed. He's looking at the line saying, wow, there's no exit here. I got to somehow manufacture an exit. And he kind of just punched through the curtain there.
Semifinals. And now that same part of the bank will get Kolohe and Dino going. Tapered wall. And we're speaking about the ever-changing conditions here, and that one has just tricked Kolohe. Seeing the positioning here. John decides, oh, you know what, I don't see a 10 on that. And Kolohe is threading through the tube here. Now a section to work with. Just a beautiful rasp of the fins there. Kolohe again. Little click in the pocket. Now there's enough time for Kolohe to get back out over the sandbar and possibly find another wave here, Ross.
With blocking Kolohe and Dino with only needing a mediocre score. Okay barrel there, so we're looking at a medium-sized score. And he cleaned it up with a nice little wrap with the tail slide. So that's, added little bonus there. Again, it's going to be much better than his 4. He's not going to need a big score here. Watch the barrel here, one big pump. He's probably a little shocked that John let him go on this wave. So he's thinking, whoa, okay, I need to kind of gather my concentration here. But, the barrel is just so-so. I think that John will go on this wave. This looks like a gem here.
Well, John will now exercise priority, and this is a bigger, meatier one. And he'll somehow re-emerge again. So a thick lip, and he finds an opportunity to squeeze through.
And add a little sugar to this heat for John. It should be better than his 6.17, a stand-up barrel, so a lot of room. Again, closed out on him, and it's like the wave just said, okay, you're John, we're going to let you out.
Wow. John Florence has achieved the first part of it. He has now passed Kolohe and Dino and is into the finals here. And as you mentioned, Ross, the only way that we do not crown John Florence here today is if Geordie Smith can take his first Portuguese win.